Our favorite veterinarian is in the studio with us today. Dr. Q has been picked as the Small Business Person of the Year and representing the Centennial State in the best way possible. We want to welcome her back. It is, of course, Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to you and to your little fuzzy friends here in studio today. So as the holiday is here, I want to ask you, is there anything pet owners should be on the lookout for when they have that Thanksgiving feast spread out on the table? They need to make sure that dogs don't get a hold of that stuff, right?
Absolutely. You know, I think the big thing is not being afraid to just maybe put the dogs like in their kennels or in another room when you have a bunch of guests over, to make sure that, you know, it can be very exciting. It also can be kind of overwhelming for some dogs, so they might get nervous and might, you know, nip at your guests. So that's definitely something to be aware of, you know, so maybe separate your dogs. And then also, of course, make sure they don't have an opportunity to counter surf,
yes,
or get into the trash.
They're good at that.
They can be, and unfortunately, we commonly see a condition called pancreatitis after Thanksgiving, because that's something that happens when dogs get too much fatty food if they're not used to it. I mean, it can be a problem for a cat too if you give them a big plate of leftovers.
Right.
You know, so we want to be careful about. You don't want to be trying to call your vet the day after Thanksgiving with massive vomiting and diarrhea issues.
Yes, that's right. So let's say the dog does counter surf just a little bit and the owner does become concerned. Can they call you on Thanksgiving, or what are some things that they should be on the lookout for to see if their pet is in need of your service?
Yeah, absolutely. What I always tell people is that the best thing to do is, if there's a little bit of vomiting or diarrhea, a short fast is a great place to start. Just 6 to 8 hours, just a short fast. That means no water either, close the toilet bowls and things like that, right? And then introduce in small, frequent feedings a bland diet.
Okay.
If they can keep that down and everything seems to be okay, then you're probably good to go. But if you start that bland diet or they're not interested in eating, then you're probably dealing with something more serious, and then you definitely want to either give us or your local vet a call.
Okay, good to know. And expand, if you could, on that bland diet. Is that like rice, maybe carrots or peas? What does that look like?
Yeah, that's a great point too. So with the bland diet, I usually recommend white rice only,
okay,
with maybe like a little canned pumpkin in it, you know, or maybe some pureed carrots. Usually that's about it, because anything else is going to be just harder to digest. You know, if they won't eat it without something to spike it, maybe you could do a little something else, but primarily just like a little rice and pumpkin. That fiber in the pumpkin really will kind of help balance the system out again.
Okay, good to know. And, you know, it is, of course, the giving season. A lot of people like to give animals as gifts, as Black Friday is here and the holidays come into play. There is something we really want to urge to folks out there, and that is pretty much, don't just go out and buy a pet without the knowledge and knowing that you're going to keep it. Right, Dr. Q?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I have a presentation that I have given to different community in the past, which I'm happy to do again, that if you want me to come and do that, where I talk about different kinds of pets that, you know, if you're thinking about getting a pet for Christmas, what you need to know. You know, definitely adopt, don't shop. I mean, of course, right? We have so many animals that are in need of homes, so please don't go buy animals. And then don't buy an animal for somebody that's not expecting it.
Right.
Right. You know,
yes.
I mean, that is, you know, it's important for everybody to know that truly January and February, the shelters are often really full of animals. That's how I got my first bearded dragon, because he was same thing, Christmas gift for little kids. They didn't know what they were doing. And then, you know, by February, the animal's in the shelter, right? And so be really mindful, do your research. I love talking to people about what kind of pets to get or not get. And so give me a call, shoot me an email. I'm happy to help.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming in studio. We really appreciate it. And bringing her furry friends too. We love that. Dr. Q, we appreciate you, and happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. I hope it's wonderful.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's give folks some more information here. Now, for that information, just go to aspenparkvet.com or ResqRanch.org. You can also check out Dr. Q's YouTube channel. It's awesome. It's called The One Dr. Q. Or give her a call like she just mentioned. Don't be shy. 303-838-3771. Thanks again to Aspen Park Vet Hospital and ResqRanch, of course, Dr. Q, for sponsoring this segment. Happy Thanksgiving.